Hello and welcome to Citizen Herald. This is the third episode of the program where we focus on an issue which is flagged by citizens, not by us. And after that, we look at basically the social capital in Goa and we focus on people who raise this issue, public spirited citizens who come forward and flag the issue and say that authorities who are supposed to take charge have to perform their duty and act on this issue which they have flagged. Thirdly, we also look at authorities who are supposed to look after this issue, whose responsibility it is to take care of the public interest and look after a problem that is festering. And lastly, we look on this program at the solutions which can be worked out to solve this issue and improve the public good. On this third episode of Citizen Herald, we are looking at two major issues which are dogging the public space. One is the khazan lands, and in my mind, the destruction of the khazan lands is destruction of the ecology of Goa, but not only that, it is destruction of the tradition and the very things which Goa stands for, because khazan lands are unique and very important to Goa. The second issue that we will flag during this program is the capital city of Panjim. Goa is billed as the #1 tourist destination, but if you look at the capital city of Panjim, there is complete dilapidated infrastructure, crumbling infrastructure from the beautiful city that we have known Panjim to be. So, to discuss the first issue with regard to khazans, it is my pleasure to welcome Mr. Prasad Harmalkar from Diwar. Prasad, welcome to the program.
Welcome, Freddy, and thank you very much for asking me to come here on a very important subject. In fact, that subject is very close to my heart.
Yeah.
I've been raising up this issue for the last 12 years.
Yeah.
And so far I haven't found any solution to it.
Yeah.
Be it the authorities or be it the Mamladar's office, wherever it is. And it is a subject what you have raised, which I have grown. I myself am a farmer.
Yeah.
So I've grown up with it, and I cannot see the way it is going nowadays.
So many of our Goenkars will be must have heard about khazan lands,
Yes.
but for the benefit of our viewers, because this program will go internationally also because of the access on social media.
Yes.
Can you outline for us the ecology of a khazan? What does it consist of? How does it work?
Absolutely. This concept of khazan at this point of time is only in Goa. Actually, if you go to say it is traditionally in Goa, and basically our lands are reclaimed lands. Well, reclaimed from the river, sea, whatever is, and then protect. The ancestors had done a wonderful job. In fact, the Portuguese rather.
Yeah.
If you go, they have done lovely bunds, protected the entire village. Coastline, little. And in fact, there are this, like if you ask me about my village, Diwar, this entire place is so well protected with a bund. In fact, the foundation of these bunds is so strong that even the biggest storms cannot take it.
And they are made of mud.
No, the down foundation, if you go to see, it's of huge stones.
Stones. Okay.
Huge stones.
Okay.
And then on that of the silt, of the mud. Basically, it is silt. Because this silt cannot penetrate, water cannot penetrate to it. So that helps to protect the bund.
Okay.
Now in khazan land, there are three concepts. If you ask me, one is the bund, one is the point where the water accumulates, and third one is most important is the sluice gate.
Okay.
Now, today everybody is looking at a sluice gate, even on the net and all. If you see reports coming, you see that sluice gate is looked as a fishery, a concept of only extracting fish.
Yeah.
But our olden times, our forefathers never looked the sluice gate as a fish breeding area or rather collecting of fish. It was basically to manage the water.
The tidal movement.
Tidal movement of the water. And that to see what happens is that since it is a reclaimed land, water from our mountains or other tend to go straight into the river because we have water all side literally.
Yeah.
Now, why this was done is that people could take water. Everything was protected by bunds. These
Yeah.
ponds were there. So salt water was in the pond, which they would take in, so that the fresh water from the land side would not go into the
Yeah.
rivers
Yeah.
and then contaminate the wells over there. So that was, but every time on a high tide, this water would release slowly.
Yeah.
And then when it was released, you could catch little fish.
Yeah.
But during the high tide again, the water would come inside and come to the level of the fields. It would never come into the fields.
Yeah.
But today it has become a tradition to get it in the fields.
Okay, so today you can explain to us what is the problem. So this is a fantastic ecosystem which was developed by our forefathers,
Yes.
and maybe it is predating the Portuguese.
Portuguese.
You know, when land was being recovered from the sea.
Yes.
And today it has been misused basically.
Absolutely.
So what is the problem and how is it misused?
Misuse. See, their modus operandi of misusing is was simple. Basically, they want to just catch fish at the sluice gate.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
But they have never understood the concept of the sluice gate, because it is used basically for farming activities and to restore the water in the land.
Yeah.
Now, today what is happening is that bunds cannot just be broken.
Yeah.
So they have to have some excuses.
Yeah.
Bunds actually, they are very, very strong, but some of them are deliberately
Broken.
Yeah, the modus operandi is that the only people who get affected with this bund water coming into the field is the farmer.
Yeah.
And today farmer has got no choice but to beg and plead with the authorities.
Yeah.
What they do is that the saline when they allow the farmer to grow the field.
Yeah.
Once the crop is ready, when he's about to harvest, break the bund, get saline water.
Okay.
Continuously happens for 1, 2, 3 years.
So
Then
that
the
destroys the entire crop.
Entire crop, and the farmer is finished. After 3 years of no crop, the farmer is literally gone. He can't do anything.
Yeah.
He complains to the authority.
Yeah.
Now at this point of time, the authority which is governing everything is the Mamladar.
Yeah.
He complains to the Mamladar. There also he is literally, people laugh at him.
Yeah.
When a farmer goes to these authorities, these authorities laugh at him, because he's made mockery out of him over there, literally in that offices. Before that, I would also like to draw one more attention. Why these bunds broke? One is that earlier what used to happen is that what my grandfather and all used to tell is that along the rivers there used to be something called as pan boats.
Okay.
Basically, these pan boats were big with big fans, routers,
Yeah.
which used to chunk the silt which was developed, and it used to get washed away the wrong. So there was draft in the which would be used for mining barges.
Okay.
And why it was happening? Because every time a barge passes,
Yeah.
a little of that silt would always, at least while coming back empty, the laborers used to empty some silt into the river, and this used to happen before the Portuguese went, because during that time they used to maintain it.
Yeah.
But after that, no, you can't see any desilting work happening.
Okay.
So the level of the water has risen.
Okay.
I'll give a simple example is the water pipeline that went into our village in 1987, the first time the water pipeline came.
Okay.
It was replaced in about 93 or 97 something.
Okay.
That time the silt between the earlier one and this one was literally about 3 meters.
Okay.
So water bed is risen.
Okay.
Where will the water go? It'll find its way, wherever it's weak, it will break the bunds and water fills it.
Okay.
So there is a big neglect on part of the government as
So
well.
what is the consequence, or what is the extent of destruction to the farmers by breaking of these bunds and
Yeah, but by breaking these bunds, the farmer cannot grow his crop. He goes and fights with the Mamladar, prays to the Mamladar little to help him. He goes, okay, if he says, okay, what is the complaint against? He says, the Manchekars are doing it, the tenants associations are doing it, so can you help us out? So he said, okay, the case is raised on them. He is called again. Next time.
Now, before you go to the authorities, let us have a look at, you yourself has sent us a video
Yes.
of the fields which are flooded because of
yes,
either
saline
misuse
water.
of the
Yes.
sluice gate or because of breaking of the bunds.
Bunds.
And this is the situation in Diwar.
Yes.
Okay, so let us have a look at this.
Yes, absolutely.
This is towards the landside area of the village. Let's see how much it is towards the houses, and water has come over here. This is how the water fields are inundated with saline water. This is basically all the fields filled with saline water. See up to what level it has come. Here it is not very visible because the grass is there. Fields which the authorities have turned a blind eye to this activity of flooding the fields. These are fertile fields which are completely inundated in water, which is blocked with silt and stones and carpet, which is basically water should be flowing the other side, which is here, which has been blocked.
This is basically what is happening is nothing because of the bunds. The bunds are intact at this point of time. But this is mismanagement of the sluice gate.
Yeah.
And if you told you in that video also, I have shown you there is one culvert which is blocked.
Yeah.
Now what these people do, that culvert actually flows the water from one side to the other side.
Yeah.
There is a road bit.
Yeah.
They have blocked it and they have made it as a tank.
Oh.
So the half of the village is literally a tank,
Okay.
wherein water is inundated and every field is destroyed.
Yeah.
And there nobody can grow anything.
Okay.
It is only thing that has grown is a parasite called it's a type of a parasite of mangrove family.
Mangrove family.
Mangrove
Okay.
family.
Now, since we are completely short of time, it's a very interesting subject, and there are a lot of inquiry and investigation which needs to be done by the media on this topic.
Yes.
But you have had a very bad experience when you went to complain to the authorities to restore the fields. Can you narrate to us this briefly? Because third part of our program is with regard to which authorities to approach in case there is inundation of fields.
The first authority you have to approach is the Mamladar's office. But then what you do is that when you go to the Mamladar's office, there is a hearing which is once you complain, the parties are made, I am a petitioner and they are the parties, and including the government is a party. But every time you go, the case is free. Now my case is of 2016.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've been asking every time, what is it? It is just a simple case of inundation where water has to be flushed out from the fields. Since 2016 till date, or rather since 2012 till date, water is still there.
Okay. And you have been called several.
Absolutely.
And what are the excuses which they give to postpone
excuses
the
are,
case?
first time they'll say the Mamladar is not today, he's gone for some inspection. The second time they'll say the Mamladar is on our voting duty. The third time she'll say, okay, the other party is not come.
Okay.
So you have to take a hearing. Once it so happened that they asked me, today is not your date. But I said, today is my date. I was given to, no, today is not your date. I said, can I have a look at the file? No, we have looked at the file and it says, and I said, can I have a look? No, if you want, you go ask under RTI. So this is how they harass. Now today, I have been fighting this since 2016. Imagine a farmer going over there, fighting it. In the 3-4 hearings, he'll get fed up.
Okay.
And he's lost nothing. So he'll say, forget about these people, let me go. Let me see my daily bread, how it can happen.
But you think there is any element of corruption or any
Absolutely,
give and take in this
Absolutely.
delay because the reports are not done, inquiries are not made?
I have been asking the Mamladar for one simple inspection by a responsible officer. Maybe that of a Mamladar or a deputy collector. Or something. But till date, since 2012, that inspection has not happened. Inspections have happened.
Yeah.
But the Mamladar is not ready to sign on a report.
Okay.
He says it's not mine. He says responsibility of the soil conservation. He says the Talati prepares, and all are fraud reports.
Okay.
He prepares as per his conveniences.
Yeah.
And there's nothing which happens. Because these reports, when they are prepared wrong, when they go into the court, the reports make a difference.
Yeah.
Nothing happens of these reports. These are all fraudulent and mismanaged. And of course, the corruption. And I can claim it, so thanks for giving, that from the Talati to the Alwyn to the Mamladar and even to the deputy collector, they all are hand in glove and protecting these people and harassing the farmers.
Okay. And as a last part of the program, we also see if there are any possible solutions. Now, what do you look at is a way out of this situation? Because many farmers would be dealing with the same problem that you are dealing with.
Absolutely. The biggest thing is that one whip from the government has to fall on one of the officers. It has to be a termination of this officer. The inquiry has to be done. An inquiry cannot be done by some small vigilance committees. It has to be done by, I would say, by the CBI, because it involves misappropriation of nearly 100 crores of rupees.
Okay.
If you go entirely into this Goa, in Tiswadi itself, we have about 40 khazans and 40 sluice gates.
Okay.
The misappropriation of funds that happens in the sluice gates is humongous. It is It runs into
That's
crores.
a huge racket. Yes.
Huge racket. So this investigation has to be done by a CBI. Secondly, these tenants associations have to be wiped off.
Okay.
This tenants association has to go. It has to be given to farmers club. Basically the farmers who are growing fields.
Okay.
In this tenants association today, because of my father was a tenant, my son is come into the tenants by claim of tenancy, and he is sitting over there. He's never stepped his leg into the field.
These tenants are of the comunidad.
Of the comunidad, of the Gaonkars,
Yeah.
of the comunidad. They have to be investigated. Those people are given to farmers. And the watchdog has to be either panchayat or maybe yes. And one more important thing is that the revenue department is not the department to find solutions for farmers.
Okay.
They are basically into revenue, counting money.
Yeah.
They would only look at how revenue is coming from a sluice gate. I think this whole thing has to be handed over to the agriculture department,
Yeah.
who are the core people into understanding the agricultural difficulties of a farmer.
Okay.
The revenue will never understand this.
Okay.
And so far, I can tell you rightly, since for the last 20-30 years, farmers have not a single, I can challenge any authority, not a single case has been brought to its logical conclusion favoring the farmers. It is always favoring either the Manchekar or the tenants association.
Okay. Now, this is an area which, a lot of inquiry has to be done. A lot of corruption is presumed to have happened in this, and the miserable lot of the farmers continues with the ingress of saline land, which is deliberately done in the context of a fantastic ecosystem that has been developed by ancestors to protect the land and to protect the farm.
Yes.
So we hope that the authorities are listening and they take action on this, and that some sort of an inquiry is held. The cases which are filed are brought to its conclusion and action has been taken. And as Prasad has very rightly pointed out, that the maintenance of the fields and the bunds has to be looked after by a different department rather than a department like revenue, which is only looking to make money. So I thank Prasad Harmalkar for coming to our studio and for enlightening us on Citizen Herald. Thank you, Prasad.
Thank you very much, Freddy. My pleasure.
Our second guest for today is Mr. Alwyn Michael Dissa from Miramar. He is one of the regular contributors to Citizen Herald, and he is a public spirited citizen who highlights issues which are of public concern and concern the public good. Alwyn, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Fred, for calling me and give me
Yeah.
a chance to voice my opinion.
Yeah. So basically we will follow the same pattern in dealing with this subject, and you are going to talk about Panjim as a city and the dilapidated infrastructure. We will first focus on highlighting what is the problem. So you can outline what is the problem. Secondly, we will look at what is the impact or consequences of leaving the city in such a bad state like this. Thirdly, we will see which are the authorities that we can approach to deal with this issue. And lastly, what are your personal suggestions to improve the city? So to begin with, we have in our Herald TV news and features, we have highlighted the complete dilapidated state in which Panjim city is. Although the International Film Festival takes place here, now the G20 summit is supposed to take place. But for us citizens who commute to the city and out of it day in and day out, it is a difficult task, especially for senior citizens. So can you outline to us what are the things that you observed which make life uncomfortable in the city?
Panjim city is actually crumbling completely if you think of it, Metropolitan Panjim city is just about less than 10 square kilometers, having a population of just about little more than 1 lakh.
Yeah.
And being in the smallest city in India, capital city is Panjim. I don't think there's any other capital city as small as Panjim.
Yeah.
Being the smallest city, we could have had gleaming streets and beautiful footpaths and facilities and street furniture. But what do we see in Panjim? It is all completely, a disaster.
Yeah.
You see the Bharatiya Indian Swachhata, they have this classification. There are cities like Indore, Surat, Bhopal, which were at one time we thought they were dirty.
Yeah.
They rank within the first 10, whereas Panjim is ranked as 224th recently. Can
Yeah.
you imagine what a shame it is to be ranked as 224th, having such a small area?
Yeah.
Now it's 60 years now since liberation has happened, and I suppose there's not proper development that has taken place in the city. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been seeing the city like what it is now.
Yeah. So can you list for us what are the things that you find amiss? You have made a note of these in your article which you had written.
Yes. In general, I would say like CCP has been receiving. CCP cannot, manage more development because they don't have sufficient funds. But then they have been receiving central funds all these years,
Yeah.
which probably have not been put to optimum use.
Yeah.
So maybe they were misappropriated, or I do not know how the city has reached to this stage. Now, Panjim city by itself is such a beautiful city. It's got a Mandovi river along. It has got its natural beauty.
Yeah.
But are we really caring for the city? Now let's look at the 18 June Road.
Yeah.
It's the most famous shopping street in Panjim.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come there, tourists and even Indian people, and everyone, are on the street. And the state of the street is so bad. The street surface itself is so bad. There's no asphalt left there. The pavements are not aligned with the street. There are sometimes scooters they cannot park, motorbikes cannot park because the alignment is not correct. Then think of the people, older people, senior citizens, people, disabled people. How can they maneuver this roads and this footpaths which are all broken down?
Yeah.
It is a very dangerous. And then think of that Sahkari Bazaar. In front of Sahkari Bazaar, there are these huge pots kept. Some of them are broken. It is the main city street, and you have such dirty things lying in the middle. I have written in the newspaper once before about this. To get rid of those, there's still dirty big pots are lying there.
Yeah.
And they're not removed them.
Yeah.
And there are some dying plants. Does this give any beauty to Panjim?
Yeah.
And then there are shopkeepers. They spill all their merchandise on the footpaths.
Yeah.
So there is hardly any way for the people to walk.
It becomes an
especially
obstacle.
18 June Road,
Yeah.
And then there are umpteen number of hawkers.
Yeah.
Of course, you cannot help hawkers because every city has hawkers.
Yeah.
But probably they could be regulated.
Yeah. And you have written this article some time ago, before the present complete dilapidation of the infrastructure in the city because of digging for smart city works. We can have a look at this, because this has made the situation completely worse from what you have described.
Yes, that was about 3-4. I had written an article along with the picture 4 months back, just opposite the Vishal, the street, the complete pavers have come out.
Yeah.
Till today, the pavers have not been repaired. That means there's a feedback CCP and PWD is getting, but they're not active in that.
Yeah.
Now you think of the DB mark, the Dayanand Bandorkar mark.
Yeah.
That road is forever, whenever there is any event happening or even otherwise, there is always choco-block traffic.
Yeah.
Bumper to bumper traffic, and sometimes it takes half hour just to go from the Kala Academy to Miramar Circle. I have experienced it, 20 minutes to half hour just to go.
Yeah.
And now they are having the stadium there.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what sort of traffic is going to increase? And then somebody has a bright idea of having this ropeway cable going across from this side to the other end.
Yeah.
They are expecting 2 to 3 million tourists in a year. That means maybe 15,000 tourists average in a day. How many vehicles will be required to cart those people across? Can you imagine? Can Panjim take this sort of load?
Yeah.
I mean, then there are these smart city people. They are going to do 2 streets. Everywhere they are dug up. It looks like Panjim had a big earthquake like Turkey, or some explosion has taken place. Everywhere it is dug up. Having said that, of course, we need some development to be done. We need, because these old lines, sewage lines are all cracked. Probably they need replacement. Even the stormwater drains need to be done. So that has to be done. Then another thing is, I would say about the public toilets. There is a small set of public toilets opposite Govinda building, but there are so many tourists coming into the city. There are so many foreign tourists coming. We need more toilets so that people can have a convenient place to go.
So, which are the authorities which you think should address this problem?
Authorities, I think right now we have got CCP, the commissioner, the PWD and the smart city officials. There are other utility providers. So they should be able to help us out, and there should be a proper coordinated approach so that people are not inconvenienced.
Yeah. So what is the solution that you are looking at, given the fact that you have underlined that Panjim is a smart city and the development has to be appropriate development commensurate to the smallness of the city and the population.
Yeah.
So what are your suggestions to improving Panjim city?
Right now, actually, the smart city people are doing two main streets. Of course, the one street, the work is going on, Tonka Road. The other one, I don't know how far. But the rest of Panjim needs to be looked after by CCP. Now, CCP has got so much of uncollected funds from the Panjim market. So this runs into crores and crores of rupees. And then there are other trade taxes, maybe signboard taxes, which I think they are still to collect.
Yeah.
So these are the revenues that they have to generate, so that it can be used and put to good use.
Yeah.
So that it's not that smart city has come now, but you need to have day-to-day upkeep of the city. You just can't make something.
Basic infrastructure has to be in place.
Has to be maintained. Look at that's what I'm saying. Everywhere the pavers are all upside down. This is not the way. And there is most of the streets, they need to be asphalted again. City streets needs to be cleaned. I feel that before 8 o'clock, not at 10 o'clock in the morning when people are already there. Yeah. They have to be cleaned before then.
Early morning, like they do in Bombay.
Like they do abroad, everywhere. I've seen all over the world. People, they have cleaned before 8 o'clock. Everything is clean. So when the people come to the offices, they have everything clean. Here people are there with the broom at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And they don't do a proper job. And there are no dustbins provided. Every lamp post should have a dustbin so that people can use. There are conscientious people who will use the dustbin.
Yeah.
Not all people are dirty.
Yeah.
Then there is some of the old structures in Panjim city, especially in 18 June Road. I think they need to be demolished and make new structures with proper underground parking facilities. They look so shabby.
Yeah.
Then I would say that there should be a public transport system which is missing in Panjim. So that will give the last mile connectivity. Yeah. Which is there, then people will obviate the need for people to bring their own vehicles. Yeah. So that would be one of the things. And then traffic authorities. Traffic authorities need to be very vigilant, very strict. Now there are people, youngsters especially, they use the one-way streets. They go on both ways. I mean, it's not okay to do that. Yeah. Instead of catching the people without helmets, they are risking their own lives. Here, those people who come on the wrong road, they are risking the life of other people.
Even more dangerous.
And there is a circle, this Kakulo circle. There is a one-way street coming from Don Bosco. Yeah. But see, in the morning and afternoon, anytime, there are people, young guys going on the motorbike, dropping the children, going the wrong road.
This especially happens also now. It is even more because there is digging of
right
roads.
Now I understand. I understand right now because there is no way there is no problem. Even traffic police will not catch you because this is an unusual situation. Yeah. But other times you see, what example do you set to your children when you take them on the wrong road and drop them?
So it very much depends on the attitude of the people towards their city. Okay, so and you would flag that security of the citizens would be the utmost of utmost importance, and this is what the authorities have to take care. I know that you have a lot of things to say, but unfortunately we have run out of time. And we are very thankful to Mr. Alwyn Michael Dissa from Miramar for coming here and sharing his thought with us. We hope that we have some opportunity to interact with you either in the Herald TV or in the newspaper.
I would just like to add for a minute. Herald is doing a wonderful job by taking up the causes of the people. They publish. I also publish a lot. Many people put out their their problems, civic problems. That is a very good thing. And congratulations to Herald.
Thank you very much. Thank you for coming to our show.
Thank you.
Bye. So that is all we have for you on Citizen Herald for this week. Keep watching Herald TV.